During this brief intermission, I'd like to invite you again to please subscribe to this channel. And again, to please like, subscribe, and comment below as we continue this conversation of AI momentarily. If you have been enjoying this conversation, we certainly like to hear about it. And certainly, this conversation is going to go much deeper and it's going to get much faster, as you will quickly and soon see. And again, if you're interested in apologetics, or if you're interested in learning more about the faith, I invite you to become a patron at our Patreon page, patreon.com/c/Lumen Christi Ministries, where we will be doing 7-week series on natural apologetics. We hope to have that posted for you in about 5 weeks, and we will be doing that. And we hope to see you there for a charge of just $5. For $5, we will be doing 7 weeks of apologetics, natural apologetics, just building that bridge of unity, seeking to help people understand better the truths of what we can know from reason alone, not negating faith by any means, but simply getting to those natural truths that we can know from simple human reason, so that we can again recapture the truth. And as you will see, we will build from that natural to the truths, and we will break the lies that the enemy has captured so many people in, and will hopefully bring so many people back into Christianity and ultimately into Catholicism. And as you will see in our discussion that follows this intermission, that's going to be a heavy topic. It's going to be a heavy topic, and it's going to be a good one. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, again, invite you to please subscribe and leave your comments below, because your comments will help this channel to grow, and it'll help us to continue to be a light in the darkness, and it'll help us to continue to grow, and it'll force YouTube to evangelize on our behalf, and most importantly, it'll do the work of Jesus. So thank you for taking the time to be patient with us during our intermission, and enjoy the rest of the show. And we are back with Living Christian Ministries, and we are going to pick it right back up where we left off, talking about AI and its dangers to humanity. And I believe we left off talking about how we were using it for our YouTube thumbnails. And George, what I want to talk about is how a defense for AI is how it can be used as a tool. And one of the things we were talking about right before we ended our last segment was how AI takes away from our human intelligence, which makes sense. We're talking about an artificial intelligence here, and how it takes away from our capabilities of finding things on our own. I gave the example of going to the dictionary, encyclopedia, Google for research, and this idea that our creativity is being taken away, but people will defend AI saying that it's a tool, and so if we're using it as a tool, then it's still a good. So I want to dive deeper into that topic and get your thoughts on that, George. So what do you think about that? Can we defend it in that way, or is that caveat for our laziness as society?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good thought, Sean. Thank you. I mean, I think it's probably a matter of both, right? There probably is an element where that's maybe an example of someone doing what so many of us often do, which is trying to excuse certain things that we have or that we do by saying it's not really so bad, because sometimes I heard that so and so once upon a time used this for a good reason.
Mm.
such as, like, oh, I don't think phones are distracting because there's an app that you can get that helps you to be more scheduled. And therefore, it's actually helping you to improve your concentration rather than deteriorating your concentration. And it's like, okay, you can make that argument,
That's
but
not
it doesn't take away from the fact that the general tendency for most people is that it's distracting.
right.
So for AI, it's true that there's maybe some instances, some cases where it can be used as a tool, but I don't think that's taking into account just number one, um,
I,
the
I'm sorry. I
tendency.
on a side tangent. That's just so ironic that phones are gonna have an app that helps you to like stop using your phone as much. When in order to use the app, you got to use your phone more. Right? That's just like a ironic, addictive thing that phones are obviously. As you were saying it, I'm like, I just got to roll with the tangent because that's just ridiculous. But that's exactly what they're doing, and that's what AI is doing as well. But uh,
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's telling right there. I really, really, that's enough said. Like really, when it boils down to it, that's enough said. If someone has to come up with a way to make us more productive, recognizing that, and frankly, I don't know. I personally am not aware of any specific apps that are meant to make your phone more, more streamlined, less addictive. But I do know very well that there are many devices and things like that out there that do promote just that do try to make your phone less distracting. So in that sense, yes. The thing is really with AI, it's just like anything else. It's like, what is the actual tendency of this? And how often is it used just as a tool versus how often is it used as something other than a tool?
right.
Because the reality is the widespread use of it today in the internet and the web is just to synthesize data to make it a lot easier to just have a quick answer that you look whenever research anything. What was the battle of, I don't know, I don't know, pick any battle, Waterloo, like what was the battle?
Pittsburgh.
Gettysburg. Yeah. Like, what was it? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Who were the generals? AI will synthesize that in a second without the researcher having to go filter through page after page of biographies, notes, research papers, etc.
Right.
Where they actually have to find the material themselves.
Right.
And of course, someone's going to say, well, of course, like, why wouldn't you do that? If you have the luxury of doing it, like, that just is much, much quicker and easier. The problem is, number one, it's not necessarily intrinsically more reliable. So far as I understand it, so far as I understand the algorithm, which I really don't, but so far as I understand it, there can still be errors just because there's like a multitude of answers that are like more commonly identified, just because there's like 90 of 100 search results say that a certain battle happened in 1758, it doesn't necessarily make that true. There can be common misconceptions. There can be just false material on the internet that's answers are pulled from.
Mm.
But regardless of whatever it is, and I think generally there is going to be a correct answer, but regardless of what it is, the critical thinking involved with finding and coming to the correct answer and identifying what sources are reliable, which ones aren't, and so on and so forth, does not take place. That's all beside the point. You were asking about AI and whether it can be used as a tool.
Yeah.
Well, or whether it can be effective. Yeah, in that regard, I think it could be used as a tool. Yeah. But at what cost? I don't think it's so much a matter of can it be used as a tool. Absolutely, it could be. It could be.
Yeah.
But what does it replace? What is it being used to replace? Is it used to replace human effort, which is essentially what it is doing? It's there to make things easier and solely easier.
Right.
That's nice, but like any tool, whenever you make things, um, well, I want to go to a different point. Um, but in terms of that single point, can AI be used as a tool? I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, I think I would stop there. I mean, I would say, yeah, it can be used as a tool to make things, to make the synthesis of material on the internet more easy. It can be used as a tool. I would say it isn't necessarily more reliable, and it certainly isn't more effective, in my opinion, of a way to research.
Sure.
Um,
And I'll I'll hit 2 points and then you can transition into what your point is. But so like when I'm saying a tool, I'm referring to like so like I can come up with the thoughts, I can come up with the image of what I have in my mind and what this image could look like, and I can tell AI like I want an image of John Paul II praying in the chapel with Our Lady, and that's an image that you all saw that I put on my YouTube as a thumbnail. Like, and that's exactly what I did. Like, and I said I wanted the Vatican in the back. Like, I put all that in there. It constructed that image for me. I think that's using it as a tool because I'm still intellectually constructing the image of what I want it to look like to a certain degree. It's just doing all the work for me. Compare, and that's how my shorts work as well. Like, it's breaking up all the shorts for me compared to like somebody else that just like basically just copy and pasting whatever they find on the internet. And that's where like one of my concerns would be at what line are we crossing plagiarism and we're plagiarizing AI or we're plagiarizing this we're just taking what AI is giving us. Like and that's where I was hesitant with it at first because I think there is some form of plagiarism that could be involved, but I don't have clarity on that, and I think that's a concern that we could talk about maybe in this topic, maybe in this video right now, or maybe in another video. I guess we'll have to see where this video goes, but yeah, I think like so like are we using it for the good purposes that it's intended, or are we using it um for all these other negative purposes? But like the analogy I was getting as you were just sharing though, George, was like the comparison of fast food restaurants. Like we can go to fast food restaurants. That doesn't mean it's good for us. So like we can use the AI
right,
software to get the same information that we could get by going to the dictionary, encyclopedia, or wherever. But that doesn't mean
right,
the right way to get our resources. And so like I can go to a fast food restaurant and eat food. It's gonna fill me up, but that doesn't mean it's good for me. Like I
right.
died 50 years earlier because I ate fast food. Like, what's that movie called? Um, um, I don't like when this happens to me. There's a movie about a guy who went to McDonald's every day for every meal.
Oh yeah, supersize me.
Superside meat, yeah, like that prime example of what of what that reality would look like. You want a prime example of what AI will do to you? Just take a watch at SpongeBob for like 5 minutes, and they're like that's what AI will do to you. You'll look like Patrick Star, like you'll look like an idiot because you won't use your brain, and you'll lose what it means to be human. And I think that's the danger that George and I are talking about here is that like there is a good that it can be used for, but is it being used for that good, or is it being used out of a laziness and oh, this is easier, and now and I think like in this comfort culture that we live in, George, we just want everything so easy. We want everything like we order food. We don't make food anymore. Um, and I'm not even trying to go on a tangent. It's just all coming out now. But like we live in this comfort culture, so like we just want everything as easy as it can possibly be, and we've forgotten what it means to be human. We've forgotten what it means to work and to have to go through difficulty to research, as we were talking about earlier, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and that's how we test our brain. That's how we stretch our brain. That's how we learn, for crying out loud. And so, yes, I do enjoy like creating these images with AI because we're producing at a high level right now. But I would also enjoy learning how to actually create through other um, websites like Canva. Canva is one website, and just paying the money you'd have to do to like actually create properly and all that, and like actually learning how to create the image myself. That way, I'm actually learning the skill of being an artist while still developing everything and doing it the right way. And I can still produce my content at the level like so. Like I think there's a level where like I can still like we should and ought to still be as creative as we can be and use AI as little as we can. And,
Yeah,
and I think and I think that's what I'm seeking to do. But like I said earlier, that's really hard to do when everybody out there is using it. So you're basically competing again. And I wanted to make that clear too because I'm not sure it came out right earlier. My purpose in this ministry is not to compete with the rest of YouTube. My purpose in this ministry is to bring light into the darkness of the world. That's why we're having these difficult conversations. That's why we're talking about these conversations. That's why we're fired up right now because we're sick of all this stuff happening in the world and we want to see transformation. We want to see conversion. We want to see Jesus Christ shining where he hasn't been seen in centuries because the world wants to shut him out and pretend like he doesn't exist. And in order to do that, we have to talk about these difficult topics. We have to bring him back to those places where people don't want him to be. And we have to recognize the culture around us doing things that the culture around us ought not to be doing. And as we've said multiple times already, just in this 14-minute video, we have to take back our humanity or we're going to lose our salvation. I think it's really that simple.